Tonight, the critical hours in the wildfire fight in Southern California as more dangerous winds threaten to bring new destruction. Crews racing to contain these historic fires just as Santa Ana winds return with gusts up to 70 miles an hour, threatening the air assault on the flames and potentially spreading new infernos. We're on the front lines with the team hunting for hotspots. The death toll rising to at least 24. Dozens of arrests made, including looting charges, and investigators zeroing in on what sparked the largest blaze, the Palisades fire. Was there a human cause? Plus, the desperate homeowners who have been defending their homes with hoses, the disaster making California's dire housing crisis even worse. Our team in the fire zone and Al Roper tracking the winds. Also tonight, the first major movement in months on a possible ceasefire deal in Gaza. Could an agreement be struck before President Biden leaves office? A critical week for President-elect Trump and his cabinet nominees. Confirmation hearings set to begin. First up, Pete Hegseth, his pick for defense secretary. The tough questions he faces about his experience and his conduct. The alarming new study on the rising risk of dementia and what you can do to minimize your risk. And the emotional reunion in California, the dog back together with his owner and the firefighter who saved his life.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
And good evening. I'm Tom Llamas, in for Lester, who was on assignment overseas. Tonight, there is new concern about the fire emergency and threat here in Los Angeles. That's because those Santa Ana winds that spread these fires so rapidly and destructively are once again forecast to ramp up. The situation so extreme, the National Weather Service says, quote, this setup is about as bad as it gets. There is some progress, though. We saw it firsthand. The Palisades fire, the largest, is 14% contained, and the Eaton fire is now 33% contained. Brush fires sparking even as far south as San Diego at the Marine Corps Air Station in Miramar. In a moment, we take you on the front lines with hotspot crews working these dry hills, knowing the fires could kick up at any moment. The mission is urgent tonight. For now, at least 24 people are reported dead, with many more missing. Tonight, about 100,000 people here remain under evacuation orders. And for many, the next big challenge is finding a temporary place to live with not much available. And when it is, sometimes the prices have been raised sky high. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, the latest on the firefight. Fire crews working nonstop, waging an all-out battle from the air and the ground as they brace for the worst of those punishing Santa Ana winds. The National Weather Service warning conditions to be as bad as it gets, with the potential for hurricane-force winds over the next 48 hours. 13 million are under red flag warnings, stretching north of Santa Barbara to San Diego County. With more than 8,000 firefighters now in the front lines, officials insist they're better prepared with more ground and air resources this time around. Just behind us here, you can see a massive burn scar. There's no more smoke, no more fire, but there's still a danger. And that's why there are lines of firefighters right now with cutting tools like chainsaws and axes, clearing all the brush, making sure there's no fuel in case those winds pick up and carry embers. We were with CAL FIRE as they worked to clear brush before those dangerous winds hit burn zones.
So you're worried about this area because there's still brush here and it's so close to those homes right there.
That's correct.
Firefighters lined up on cliffs, scaling canyons, and on the lookout.
They're putting their lives on the line to get out in front of something that most people wouldn't get in front of.
Over the weekend, California's National Guard dropping flame retardant on hot spots in the Palisades fire. After flare-ups forced new evacuations in Encino and Brentwood, triggering this eerie fire-nado. The Eaton and Palisades fire still mostly uncontained, with speculation on the origins of the infernos running rampant. The ATF now leading a newly formed task force to investigate the cause of the Palisades fire, as multiple law enforcement sources tell NBC News that a possible human cause is an early focus in this case.
They're identifying cause and origin for each of these separate fires. There's so many of them. None have been ruled out of arson.
The death toll has now reached 24 and expected to rise, including 95-year-old Delise Mama D. Curry of Altadena.
That was her refrigerator. This is where she would be.
Her granddaughter looking for her remains in what's left of her home.
Mama D, are you here?
Officials today urging residents to stay out of evacuation zones.
People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors.
Law enforcement in the region announcing more than 70 arrests, including looting and burglary charges. The FBI says unauthorized drones over the fire zones are now well into the double digits as they search for the drone pilot that crashed into a Canadian super scooper last week, grounding the aircraft for days. Today, the Los Angeles Unified School District reopened most of its 1,000 campuses, giving students some return to normalcy.
I've been pretty scared coming here, but I feel as long as the doors are open, I feel safe.
Schools damaged by the fires or inside the evacuation zones remain closed, with tens of thousands pushed from their homes, now forced to start over. One estimate says the insured losses are already at least $30 billion.
Right now, I'm trying to just keep it together to find us a place to live for us, temporary living for our family and my parents.
Andrea Heindel lost her family home, as did her parents.
How tough is it?
It is tough. There's millions of people looking at millions of different places, and so we just have to figure out one step at a time how we're going to handle it.
And with the winds bringing the possibility of new fires and destruction just like this, some homeowners plan to take matters into their own hands once again. Gotti Schwartz tonight with their stories.
For days, so many across Los Angeles faced off against apocalyptic wildfires. Some homeowners defying the evacuation orders, choosing to protect their properties amid the hellscape.
We need a water drop. We need a water drop.
Sprinklers, hoses, generators, pumps, and tonight facing new red flag warnings, some Angelenos say they are preparing for round two. In wealthy enclaves, rows of water trucks and private firefighters standing at the ready.
And right here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different water trucks. There's another 3 down the way.
Those in the evacuation zones who lived to tell the tale of how they saved their streets say they did what they could with high-pressured hoses.
So we were in all of our neighbors' backyards and lugging our hoses around.
In Altadena, Felipe Carrillo saving 2 houses on his street with a garden hose.
I caught on fire a couple of times.
You caught on fire?
Yes, and so what I started doing is every once in a while I would just spray myself with the garden hose. Just soak myself with the garden hose and continue to fight.
Fire officials say those who stay to fight the fire are putting their lives at risk. 66-year-old Victor Shaw died in the Eaton fire. His remains found holding a garden hose. Right along the coast, owners of this row of homes had their own fire hoses ready and some willing to risk their lives.
There's another hot spot that just started up. So we're hooking up our fire hoses again to put it down before the wind starts again.
When the fire rolled in, Clayton Colbert and his friends stood their ground, tapping into the hydrant and saving 6 homes.
Do you have any firefighting experience? I mean,
I do now.
Yeah. What do you think would have happened if you and your neighbors weren't here?
Oh, my house would have been gone in a matter of minutes.
Tonight, Steve Foster's home is still standing, but most of the surrounding community is gone.
It's been difficult, but we're getting through it.
Would you leave?
I'm not leaving. I've been here the whole time. I have no intentions of leaving until my neighbors are back.
And Tom, technically, it's a misdemeanor not to evacuate during the chaos, but it's not always enforced. However, firefighters say, bottom line, every moment during a firefight is precious, and if they have to be pulled off of a fire line to come save someone that is not supposed to be there, it not only jeopardizes their lives, but puts the whole community at risk. Tom?
Gotti Schwartz tonight for us in Malibu. Gotti, we thank you for that. And for those who have lost everything, another crisis has quickly emerged. Where will they find a new place to live? Here's Morgan Chesky.
We're going to find a house, I promise. I promise we'll find a house.
A promise for a new home. Ashley and Tim Paul Mateer are now fighting to keep amid a disaster that's ignited a citywide housing crisis. The family of 5, 6, including their pup Apollo, one of dozens, packing an open house. After watching flames approach, then engulf their beloved Palisades home.
Wednesday afternoon, we saw footage that our entire neighborhood had burned down.
With more than 12,000 structures destroyed and potentially more to come, the demand for LA's rental market exploding overnight.
You call and you're like, hey, can I come see it? And they're like, nope, it's rented. You call another one. Hey, can I come see it today? Nope, it's rented already. So it's
Ashley says she's looked into 50 properties over the last several days.
In some cases, people driving hours just to find a home.
Yes, yes.
LA realtor Tanya Stosky says fewer options are already leading to price gouging.
We have greedy landlords who are spiking up the prices, and we also have a bidding war as well.
A check on Zillow for one property near the Palisades 3 days after the fires began shows rent jumping $10,000. It's since been removed, but officials warn price surges are growing. The governor declared a state of emergency last week, which means any price hike over 10% on essential goods, including rental housing, is illegal under California law.
Price gouging is sick, it's wrong, it's illegal. These scams taking advantage of victims and re-victimizing them.
They say if you see or are a victim of price gouging, report it immediately to local law enforcement or state authorities.
Then we'll find another one. We'll just keep looking.
For the Palmatiers, it's not just about getting a place to live. They've also got to get their kids back in the classroom after their schools burned to the ground.
Wow. How are y'all staying sane amidst all this?
Just taking it one step at a time. Our friends have been amazing. Our community across the country has been amazing.
And Morgan joins us live tonight from a Palisades elementary school that once stood there. Morgan, what's the plan for those students now?
Yeah, Tom, tonight parents are giving all the credit to school officials who just days after losing this entire school have already made plans for the student body to be absorbed into another LA school where classes are hoping to resume this Wednesday. Tom?
All right, Morgan, we thank you for that. The next round of high winds is nearly upon us. Al Roker tonight tracking it all. And Al, millions are under red flag warnings again tonight. Tell us what it all means.
All right. Well, Tom, we're talking about 13 million people from San Luis Obispo down to Campo. Gusting winds of up to 70 miles per hour. Humidity levels are dropping. A particularly dangerous situation. Pyramid Lake, San Fernando, Camarillo. And this is unfortunately due to climate change. In the last 36 years, the conditions are 9 degrees warmer, 15% drier, 20% windier. And right now, the winds are fairly calm, but they are starting to pick up within the next few hours. They will be at hurricane force, and that is going to limit the ability to bring some sort of air support in there. And as you can see for tomorrow, there is a critical risk from Santa Clarita to Los Angeles all the way down to Escondido. So we're going to continue to track this, have the latest tomorrow morning, Tom.
Everyone tracking those winds here in Los Angeles. All right, Al, we thank you for that. We do want to take a turn now to the Middle East and the growing potential for a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Richard Engel joins us tonight. And Richard, it sounds like all sides seem to be optimistic.
Tom, a senior Arab negotiator tells me this is the most progress they've seen in months, and that it comes after intense efforts from the Prime Minister of Qatar and President-elect Trump's personal envoy. According to 2 U.S. officials, 48 hours after this deal is signed, potentially this week, Hamas would begin to release a large number of hostages, and that ultimately all of the hostages would be set free. In exchange, Israel would end major combat operations in Gaza after nearly 47,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to local officials, and Israeli troops would pull out of major Palestinian population centers. According to the officials, some of the hostages, Tom, are, quote, in bad shape.
Richard Engel for us tonight. Richard, we thank you. Back home now to the confirmation hearings beginning this week for President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees. The first up, Pete Hegseth, his embattled pick for defense secretary. Here's Garrett Haake.
Tonight, a visit by President-elect Trump to California's devastated wildfire zone is under active discussion inside the Trump transition, sources tell NBC News. As the Trump team also preps for 13 high-stakes confirmation hearings this week for Trump's cabinet picks. With smooth confirmations expected for Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, Pam Bondi as Attorney General, and Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary, among others. But then there's embattled Pentagon pick Pete Hegseth, whose hearing tomorrow could be make or break.
He can expect his hearing to be tough but respectful, candid but fair.
Hegseth, a former Fox News host and decorated combat veteran, is likely to be pressed about allegations of sexual assault and excessive drinking, allegations he denies. If all Democrats vote against him, Hegseth can only afford 3 Republican defections.
What are you hoping to hear from him?
Well, I think he's got a lot of questions that need to be answered.
As the vice president-elect is detailing an Inauguration Day blitz of executive orders focused on immigration.
Dozens of executive orders coming from the Trump administration, coming from us on day one, that send a message to Customs and Border Patrol: you guys are allowed to do your job again, and to illegal immigrants all over the world: you are not welcome into this country illegally.
As for potential January 6 pardons, Vance said those who protested nonviolently should be pardoned, while those who committed violence should not. Tom?
Okay, Garrett, thank you. In 60 seconds, former North Korean soldiers described the brutality under which they served as the first North Koreans fighting for Russia are captured by Ukraine. Stay with us. Back now with a health alert about the rising risk of dementia. Ann Thompson joins us now. And Ann, tell us about this new study.
Tom, this new number, a 42% risk of getting dementia after 55, scientists say is due in part to better tracking and the fact we're living longer. In fact, for women who live longer than men, the risk is now 48%. And the number of dementia cases among Black Americans is projected to triple. To stave off dementia, doctors say you need to exercise your brain just like the rest of your body. And that means taking care of your mental health, getting proper sleep, reducing your risk for cardiovascular disease and diabetes, and paying attention to hearing loss, which is associated with increased dementia risk. Tom?
Important tips there. All right, and we thank you for that. Next, the remarkable reunion between a man and his dog and the firefighter who made it possible. And finally tonight, amid the destruction in California, we have witnessed miracles, big and small, but none quite like the one you're about to see from Liz Kreutz and a dog named Oreo.
That was it. I couldn't go.
We first met Casey Colvin amidst the chaos of evacuations.
My boss is actually calling me saying, "Is everything okay in the Palisades?" I said, "I'm in the city. I don't know."
The Pacific Palisades resident raced back, even renting a bike, trying to get home to his 2 dogs inside, but couldn't get past the roadblock.
I literally rescued them off the street. They deserve better than this.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How do I get to my house?
A firefighter offered to go for him, knocking down his door, rescuing one of his 2 dogs. But the other, Oreo, was still missing.
Got the dog?
Yeah, this is my daughter. The behavioral dog, he ran out of the house.
Later that night, the Palisades fire reduced Casey's home to rubble, but his only concern, Oreo. For 5 days, he was missing. Then, Casey got a call. Oreo spotted in the neighboring property.
It's your daddy! Hi, Bubba! How's the fire? Oh, honey! Oh, honey! Oh, my God!
It's the happy ending Casey prayed for.
Oh, honey! Oh,
and there's one person he really wanted to thank.
hey, this guy saved your life! This guy saved your life! And you look like a Ken doll! What's up, dude?
Cal Fire Battalion Chief Brent Pasqua.
If that dog could talk, he would have a story to tell. He would have a national bestseller.
Had he not knocked down that door, both dogs would have been trapped inside.
Casey, what do you want to say to Brent?
When I first met you, I was in the middle of crisis. I was in the middle of a firestorm. My dogs would have died if not for you.
Liz Kreutz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
We'll keep an eye out for that bestseller. We thank Liz for that story, and we thank you for watching Nightly News. I'm Tom Llamas in Los Angeles. Have a great night.